and them in a way that brings the most glory to God. And that's why we gather, to be our very best selves, our very best church, our very best children's ministry for our precious children. So the Children's Ministry Task Force, together with the Youth and Family Service Committee, began planning this conference about 2 years ago. So many hours of effort have gone into this. And so I thought it would be helpful to introduce them to you. And I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Melissa Tulloch. I work at the North River Church of Christ full-time in the children's ministry, which I know is a huge blessing. And I hope that all of you can say that one day, that you work full-time for your church. But I did want to introduce the team that's been working hard on planning this conference. And so I'm going to have them stand up where they are. And that is Ivana Wright out of Broward, Tina Lazara in Triangle, Bridget Koha up in Boston, Vicki Bersham, I saw her, there she is, Vicki, Melissa Birch, Susan Wadeen, who's up here in the front, and then Kim Ware, who's covering registration for me right now, and then Cindy Morris, who couldn't be with us today. We have all worked really hard to make this a time that we hope is inspiring for you. We hope that it really edifies you. And we genuinely really do just want to welcome you warmly. We are extremely grateful and honored to have you. And we hope that this time is inspiring and encouraging. And we have several different things planned for this general session. So we're not going to stand here and talk at you for the next 2 hours in case you're nervous. We have a couple different things planned. But if there is any way that we can support you, any way that we can encourage you, please let us know. And Bridget is going to come up and open us in prayer. All right, let's take a moment. Dear God, thank you that we can come before you. Thank you for the morning we've already had, that we can take our shoes off, that we can come to you, the I Am. Thank you that you know each of us by name. Thank you that you know each of the children and families that we work with by name. Thank you that you hold us all of us in your hands. Father, thank you for your protection. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your goodness and your gentleness. God, I pray that this weekend, that this afternoon, we can each walk away with encouragement. God, that we can each walk away with inspiration. That we can walk away with a new friend. God, that we can just walk away from this filled up with you and your spirit. God, and that we can also just have the peace and the presence in our own hearts and minds to hear the Spirit and to be here right now. No matter what's going on at home, what we left at home, our families, our friends, just whatever it took to get here, I pray that we can just be here right now with gratitude. Gratitude that we get to be here, that we have this incredible opportunity to serve your children. God, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please just bless this time, bless this weekend. Watch over every moment. Thank you. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Amen.
It's so amazing to hear from other people how children's ministry has impacted their lives or their families' lives. I think so many times we sit on this side of the fence and we see what we see, but we don't always get to the heart of what's happening in the families and how it truly is impacting the family, and not just the little kids. I mean, I look around this room and we look like we're mostly a little older in this room. We have some youth, but we're older. I think if I walked in the other room, I think the younger people might be more over there. So we've seen a lot of these younger people in that room raise up through the years. They started, most of them, here, right? You're feeding this next generation. And it's so cool to hear the positives. But with it, some of these families do go through hard times, right? I bet right now, in all of our ministries, there's a family that our heart just pours out for. And we just wish we could reach them and pull them in more, right? I can think of one, like even in my little tiny ministry right now, we have a family that I just wish I could be in there even more with and have even more impact with their kids than I already do. I want you to take a minute right now. Those are the kids that we have to find a way to reach, right? Those are the families, those are the kids that we have to give to God even more than all the other kids, and all the other kids are important too, right? So I want you to take a minute just to think, who's that family in your ministry? Who's that child that really needs your prayers? Okay? You need to think about it. Write it down somewhere if you have somewhere so you can keep it close to you. And I want you to take a couple of minutes to just really pray for them. Okay? Thanks. Obviously, that's the most important part, right? Identifying who those kids are, who that family is that needs God's love, support even more, and really giving them up to God. And I want you to think about what can you or someone else in your ministry, you can delegate, right, pull them in, do to support that family. What is one thing you could really do to support that child or family in your ministry? Just think about that and then write that down and make a little promise to yourself to take an action on whatever that is. Awesome. Do we have a few minutes to let people share if they want to? Yeah? Okay. Does anybody want to share what action they think they could take to help pull that child in? And the reason I ask is because it could inspire somebody else. Sometimes we come up with ideas or thoughts I didn't even think about, somebody else didn't think about. So let's encourage one another of how we can reach some of those other children as well in our ministries. Go ahead.
We have a child, I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and we have a child who's in the 4th grade now, but he is a foster child. So he has been removed from his home, he is with foster parents, he's had a lot of trauma and things happen to him, so he acts out, and sometimes it's okay for him to act out in the classroom, but sometimes it's unsafe. But we don't want to remove him, obviously, from our ministry. This is where he needs to see God's unconditional love. And you guys understand the hard times. Sometimes teachers, they're volunteers, right? They're giving out of the goodness of their heart. Some of them are more trained than others. Some have worked with kids, some haven't. So if he's in a room with teachers who are volunteering but don't necessarily have an education background or psychology background, who don't really know how to handle him, what we've been doing lately that's been helping is I'll pull him out and he'll shadow me. Like, he'll be my helper. So I'll have him run to the supply room and get extra snacks for the 4-year-old room, or I'll have him help me make copies for the upstairs classrooms, and he'll kind of go around with me. So that way he's not removed to sit in big service, and he still feels love. And we just started doing it this past month. Nice. And I've seen a huge change in his attitude even about church, because even last Sunday, he didn't even want to go to class. He was like, "Can I just stay with you?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I have 4 things that I need you to do right now." And he lit up. And I think that that's trying to find ways to keep the kids feeling welcome, safe, and included. Is sometimes our biggest battle, right? Yep. We want to protect the kids in the classroom and protect our teachers and volunteers, but this needs to be a place where people see God.
That's excellent.
So that's one of the things we just started, and it's been great.
Love that. And thank you for sharing where you're from. I appreciate that too. All right, go ahead.
David Eberbeck, St. Louis Church, Gateway City Church in St. Louis, Missouri. Right after COVID, we had a elderly gentleman that brought in his goddaughter, and he would take her to class white gentleman, didn't hardly speak any Spanish himself. And so we had a few Spanish teachers come in and try to work with her a little bit. What we didn't realize what was going on during this entire time was Godfather was dropping her off and going to another church altogether. And so we thought, and she started to where she was coming to church and loving church. She started speaking a little more English, started speaking a little bit better Spanish. And so we came up with a plan in order to not, because we wanted to keep planting that seed in her, because she came to where she was loving church and wanting to come to church. So what we did as children's ministry leaders at that time is my wife and I took on the responsibility that while she was at church, she was one of our children. She was one of us. And so anything that would happen to her, we were responsible for. We talked to Godfather about that, and then started having her parents started coming in every once in a while, pick her up. Met with their parents. They lived in the neighborhood, come to find out, and so she was starting to bring parents to church. Fortunately, I haven't seen her much this year, but just wanted to share that we want to make sure we keep our children wanting to still come and welcome them no matter what means we have. So
Love it.
in this case, we took her on as our own child.
Awesome.
Her security is our own child as well.
That's really great. Thank you for sharing. I know there are so many stories. I wish I had time to hit all of them. Maybe during the fellowship, you can share them with one another, share them with us, post them in the Facebook group that we have online, different places, and we can do some more of it. We have our amazing song leader who's going to teach us some new songs, or at least new to me, maybe new to you. But thank you for sharing and keep those kids on your heart.
All right. Well, before I teach you some new songs, we're going to just do I Can't Keep It to Myself, and I need you to stand back up. All right. Well, said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I couldn't keep it to myself. Couldn't keep it to myself. No, I couldn't keep it to myself. Said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I couldn't keep it to myself. What the Lord has done for me. You ought to have been there when He saved my soul. You ought to have been there when He wrote my name on the road. I started walking, I started talking, I started singing, I started shouting what the Lord has done for me. I could keep going, but we got more songs. So, all right, great job. You guys sound awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to let you sit, but I'm going to make you get back up and down. So get your legs ready, okay? So one of the classes that we'll be offering tomorrow is a children's worship class that I'm teaching. I really felt this pull from the Holy Spirit was like, just say it. You got to tell them. When we were planning this conference, we were like, had already planned most of the classes, and I just felt like God was nagging me like, children's worship. Let's do a children's worship thing. And I've been learning a lot in planning for this class. Before you leave today, even if you don't come to the class tomorrow, because there's lots of amazing options, so I know you won't all be there. But there's 2 QR codes by the door. I've been gathering great quality children's music onto a Spotify playlist. There's 100 songs. I hope you love it. It was a labor of love, but also really cool because I started with looking for ones that I know and love, and then I found more, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like in tears in the car hearing some of the lyrics of these songs that like we could impart on the kids. So I'm excited to share that with you. Even if you don't, for those of you who don't have like a paid Spotify, it's okay. You can get a free Spotify, and there's commercials every once in a while, but it's okay. It's worth it, so you have access to that. So please take advantage of that. There's also another QR code. I'm part of the Triangle Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we call our children's ministry Tri-Kids instead of children's ministry or Kingdom Kids. So Tri-Kids has our own little YouTube channel that we really just... Anyway, we haven't like put much on there yet, but I recorded myself and a friend, Amanda Mitchell, for those of you who know her, singing some of the songs from, if you've ever heard of the album Hide 'Em in Your Heart, kids, it's like from the late 80s, but they're all scriptures set to music. And so we recorded ourselves singing those songs, and there's, I think, 18 so far. We're planning on adding more videos, so that YouTube channel link is up there as well. So I hope that those will be great resources for you. One of the Hide 'Em in Your Heart songs I'm going to teach you right now, some of you might have heard of it. Like I said, they are all based on scripture. So this is a song from Psalm 34:13. It's keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. And that's it. Okay? So it goes like this. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue, and your lips from speaking lies. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to get you guys out of your comfort zone today, and I'm warming you up with this one, so get ready for the next song, guys. I'm going to make you feel really foolish with this song, too, because it's my passion that the kids, when they are more engaged, are learning even more, and that's part of what I was kind of researching, preparing for my class, so I wanted to share with the general session too. So when you sing this song, you sing that first one by itself, and then the second one, to make kids feel really silly, you stick your tongue out and you sing it with your tongue out. Now, I think in the original 80s track, it says, now hold your tongue, and I was like, I don't want them touching their tongues, there's so many germs. So we're just going to stick our tongues out. But I need you guys. It's not just me. This is a song you can bring back to your kids, and it's real easy. And it is one of those YouTube videos if you forget. Okay? So I won't make you stand for this one, but I do want you to sing it with me. All right, ready? It's okay if you don't sound good. That's part of the joy of worship is it's all a joyful noise to God. Right? So we're going to sound foolish together. All right, ready? Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. And your lips from speaking lies. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. All right, everybody, stick your tongue out. Are you ready? Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. And your lips from speaking lies. Keep your tongue from evil, keep your tongue. You guys sound awesome! Okay, good job. That was awesome. All right, so just think about how the silliness of that song, those kids are going to be singing it. They're going to be in the car with their tongue out singing it, but they're reiterating that scripture over and over again, and it's a teachable moment about not lying and choosing the words that we use wisely. Okay, so our next song is a little bigger. Okay, are you guys ready? Yes. I'm also very passionate that when you use hand motions and dancing and things like that, I don't need this. Okay, when you use hand motions and dancing, that really gets kids involved. What are some of the songs that you guys sing in children's ministry? I want you to shout them out that have hand motions. Sea of Galilee. Deep and Wide, Sea of Galilee, Building Up the Kingdom. What's it? Father Abraham. My team is laughing at me because I'm always like, oh, I don't like those songs. Okay, I love you guys, and you can love all the songs you want. They're all allowed. I just don't love all of them. So we need more choices of songs. It doesn't mean stop singing those songs, but I want to build your repertoire a little bit. And this is what it boils down to. It's not that those songs are bad. They're wonderful. But the heart of why I don't love them, or that they're not my favorite, is what are they taking away with them through their life when they're at school, when they're on the playground, with those songs. They're still a lot of fun, and fun has a big place in children's ministry. But I really like when the lyrics are deep and meaningful to them. So I found this song. What did you say, Abana? When they're deep and wide. Thank you. So yes, some of them are more deep than others. Okay. All right. So we're going to sing a song called Never Be Shaken. And I think we have, thank you. We have the lyrics up on the screen. So you're going to learn some hand motions. So I need you to stand up. All right. All right. So maybe I should, I'm going to sing the first part with no hand motions first while you listen. It's you, oh Lord, keep my lamp burning. You have turned my darkness to light. You set my feet high on this mountain and put my enemies to flight. So I will praise you as long as I live. Oh, I will praise you again and again. I should have sang that lower so you guys could all sing. Okay, we'll go lower next time. All right. So, everybody, we're going to learn the motions as we go. You, oh Lord, keep my lamp burning. You have turned my darkness to light. And now we're going to do legs. Set my feet high on this mountain and put my enemies to flight. So I will praise you as long as I live. Oh, I will praise you. We're going to spin again and again. Awesome. That was great, guys. All right. So the next part, I need to go lower because I'm going to make you guys sing too high. All right. So the next part is, when I walk through the valley, I will not fear, for you are my strength and my shield. When everything around me is overtaken, I know I'll never be shaken. And then we go, whoa, I'll never be shaken. Okay, I'm going to show you the motions. All right. All right, ready? So we're going to go, when I walk through the valley, I will not fear. And it goes, oh no, sorry. All right, I got ahead of myself. When I walk through the valley, I will not fear. We're just swinging our arms here. For you are muscles, my strength, and my shield. Good job. All right, when everything around me, we're just pointing, is overtaken, I know I'll never be shaken. And I'm really hoping that when the kids do it, we jump. Okay, I'm not great at jumping, so I'm just going to go like this. Because I feel really silly, but the kids will love the jumping, right? And then when we do whoa, we go, whoa, I'll never be shaken. Whoa, I'll never be shaken. Good job. And we do it 4 times. All right. Do you think we can do it from the beginning?
Yes.
All right. All right, let's go. You guys can watch me. And eventually I'll add this video to the YouTube so you guys can follow along. I haven't done that yet. I just learned this one and made up the motions for this conference. So I'm excited to show you. I also wanted to say that, like, a lot of songs, when you listen to them on, like, the Spotify playlist, you're like, okay, so we need, like, some sort of sound or hold up my phone. But I like when the songs can be just sung a cappella, like the ones that you guys named before. So you can change songs and sing them like this. All right? Are we ready? All right. You, oh Lord, keep my lamp burning. You have turned my darkness to light. You set my feet high on this mountain and put my enemies to flight. So I will praise you as long as I live. Oh, I will praise you again and again. Ready? When I walk through the valley, I will not fear, 'cause you are my strength and my shield. When everything around me is overtaken, I know I'll never be shaken. Whoa, 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 I'll never be shaken. Awesome, guys, you did so good. All right, well, you can sit. I'm done. If you enjoyed that, there will be a class tomorrow with more songs. Thank you, guys. You can't sit for long. So, all of us coming here, it's really good to come and to learn, but I think the most important thing is for us to have connections and to take them home and to be able to connect with one another throughout the year, throughout the couple of years, right? So, one of the scriptures I was thinking of was just that we can be like iron sharpening iron, right? Or Proverbs 17, be a friend to one another
who loves at all times. So loving each other through moments that we don't know who else to talk to sometimes. And then 1 Thessalonians 5:11, therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just in fact as you are doing, so that we can build one another up. So I created, and there should be on most of your tables, there's probably extra, so if somebody doesn't have enough, we can share. I also have a lot more copies. But children's ministry bingo or human bingo or scavenger hunt, whatever you want to call it. So the whole idea is that these are all about children's ministry. And so about your ministry, or, trying to find people who fit these boxes. And, the great thing is maybe you come from a church that's small, with children's ministry that's small. So let's connect with each other and figure out, you also lead a children's ministry that's under 25 or whatever it is. So we'll go ahead and do the children's ministry bingo. Go ahead and get up and fill it out. There's no winner or loser. You're all winners.
We're winning by meeting each other.
You are winning. And you know what? Maybe don't just get a name, get a phone number. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So excited to be able to be here to share with you guys. My name is Susan Wadeen. I serve on the Children's Ministry Task Force and the Youth and Family Service team. I originally came from Phoenix and was with the Phoenix staff and admin, but now I'm in a little small church in Prescott, which is about an hour and a half from Phoenix, with a organic church planting, meaning it wasn't planned. It just everybody just moved there and baptized people and started church. We got two children in our children's ministry right now. So that's very exciting. And we get to start over, And so I have 2 grown children and 4 granddaughters. My oldest granddaughter's 13. You can tell, I always know how long I've been with the church because I came to church the first time the week before my son was born. And in March, he'll be 40. So I will be with the church 40 years. So, and so the thing we're going to talk about past, present, and future. And so when I think about the past, I think about things like generational faith. Okay? So we want to pass down our beliefs to the next generation. We want to pass them down to the ones in the room. We want to pass them down to the children. We want to help them get to heaven. Creating a multi-generational family or church family, if we build a spiritual community, it's combining the wisdom of the older generations with the energy of the younger generation. I don't know, because I don't have the energy like I used to. But we see this in the Old Testament. In Exodus 3:6, you see that it refers to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, Jehovah Elohim, the God of creation. And so when you think about that, you see that generational faith. Sometimes in the Bible, we think about that there wasn't much said about it. They talked about passing it down, but here you have the examples of it being passed down. So you think about how do we do this as a movement, okay? Our movement's not that old in that. So the early church leaders, campus, Crossroads comes out of that. They start having kids. So you think, okay, well, what are we going to do? How it's important for us, for our children to know God. And so I thought about what do the kids need? So I had to find out. I called Teresa Ferguson, who was one of the ones who helped with the curriculum. And she said the motivation for it was, what do kids need to know about the Bible? And how did God write a love story to them? And the biblical foundation to live their lives. So in 1998, the Kids Kingdom curriculum was completed. Some churches still are using it today. Some have moved on to different curriculum, which is fine. The project took 5 years. Can you imagine? 5 years of writing curriculum. Different churches took turns volunteering to write specific age groups. So that's how we got the Kids Kingdom curriculum. That's the history. The curriculum is used in most places, especially in foreign countries. They still use the curriculum. In 2014, our first children's ministry conference started in San Diego. So the group that we had, it was we had great classes and resources. Then in 2015, we added exceptional journeys, special needs, and adoption forever families. So in the last couple of conferences, we haven't had the forever family. So I'm hoping sometimes we can start that back up and have that as well, because it's such an important topic. In 2017, we had our first combined conference with youth and family in Denver. It was all generations. So that was when we came up with the Cradle to Campus mantra. That's when that all started. It took shape for a few years, but I remember Manami's dad said that it was a vital need to heavily invest in our children at every age, from infancy through high school. So in 2018, in Panama, the Children's Ministry Committee officially became part of the Youth and Family, as they invited 2 of the members of our task force to the Youth and Family so that we could be a collaborative group, so that it could be Cradle to Campus, because we were operating in silos. We had children's ministry in one, and we had youth and family. And so we really merged that together. In COVID, okay, remember COVID? You remember, we all had to pivot, right? We all had to make adjustments. Some of us did virtual church. Some of us did, Kids Church online. I did videos. I did 3 years of classes that are still up on the YouTube channel with paperwork, with Scrabbles and coloring sheets and everything. And so, because the reason I did it, church was great. Church did it, but I did it for my grandkids, and so that was what was important. But you can see, even at this conference, generational faith that's been passed on. So Bethany Monday, who you saw up on stage, she chairs the Youth and Family Service team along with her husband, Audie. She's a 4th generation disciple. Eric and Megan Testa from Indianapolis are 2nd generations, and their sons who got baptized this year are 3rd generation. So you know that it's super important in that. But we're able to do so much more because we're benefiting from the hard work of those people who came before us. And so that's our past. So we ought to look at what is our future, okay? Today in this room, we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. You could tell, what do they say? We're preaching to the choir? Because you guys, children's ministry, it's your jam, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But I want to share with you that you are the heroes, and your work is vitally important. You, by being here today, have demonstrated your heart and commitment to the children of our churches. Sometimes it feels like it's a thankless position. You feel like you're working. Other times you may feel a victory, an event that goes well, or seeing a kid get pulled from the flames or baptized, or just turn their lives around. But sadly, we need more people committed to this great work. Jesus said that of his disciples as well. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Matthew 9:37. So here's some stats, okay? You can't be a good accountant without having some stats, okay? I'm a bean counter by nature. We have 170 ICOC churches in the United States, with a membership of approximately 40,000 members, okay? We don't have solid numbers on kids, but if you look at the stats of, the average, I think we would have somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 children in our congregations. So that's a lot of children who need to hear about how much God loves them. And the world is tearing them down. School's not a safe place. The bullying, harassment. Our church needs to be that safe place for the kids. We love them, encourage them, guide them, help mentor the families. We are encouraged because we know God is present with us now in the same way he was with Gideon. In Judges 6:12, it says, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, the Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Jehovah Emeka, he is with you. You are not alone. He's in the battle with us every day, in our classrooms, in our families. It's not a past tense. It's a present tense. He is with you. He determines the path because he's walking with us. We're going to sing this song, and Manami's going to sing it tomorrow, I think, or at the end. But last year's conference, the theme song was the blessing. And in that chorus, it says, he is with you, he is with you, he is with you. And that's what it is. He is with you today. He's going to be with you tomorrow as you have more classes in there. He's going to be with you when you go back home. And he's going to be with you as you help and guide the children. Not only is he walking with us, but we're all walking in this together. And that's what we hope, that we as a group, a Children's Ministry Task Force, that we can be a support and a resource to help meet the needs of the children in your ministry. We know sometimes you may feel frustrated and want to just throw your hands up and go, well, that didn't work. But we want to lift your arms up and be present with you. I heard a saying from a delegate conference last week. It says, it's come from an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so, that's what we hope, that we can be that we can link our arms together now and also where we're going in the future. Because God is not a God of the past and just a God of the present, but he also will be with us in the future. Jeremiah 29 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So from the beginning, God promised his people a future full of hope, not just survival, but flourishing. The promise continues through the New Testament. This promise is for you and your children, for all whom the Lord our God will call. No one's excluded. God's plans extend to every generation, every willing heart that will call upon him. Sometimes our plans don't line up with God's plans. Don't you feel that sometimes? Disappointments pile up. We pray, and we feel like it's silence. Like, God, are you there? Because it didn't feel like you were there in the classroom today, because I know I felt frustrated. I know this didn't make sense to me, and what I got going on right now, with this family or my kids or my grandkids, doesn't make sense. So Isaiah 57:10 reminds us, you wearied yourself by such going about, but you would not say it's hopeless. You found renewal of your strength, so you did not faint. So even when we feel weary, God calls us not to declare it's hopeless, that he's always there. Repeated disappointments lead to cynicism, a realistic view that expects little and hopes for less. But the resurrection of Jesus is the most unrealistic event in history. But yet it's true. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Proverbs 13:12. Hope isn't naive. It's resurrection-minded. It believes that God can bring anything to life that was dead. Hope is not blind optimism. Optimism denies darkness. Hope faces it with faith that God is still at work. I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Psalm 27:13. So even now, before heaven, we can see God's goodness break through. God is with us as we build the children's ministry of the future. Dream big. Use this weekend to think about how you can make a difference in your classrooms and your church. Ezekiel 48:35 says, the distance all around will be 18,000 cubits, and the name of the city from that time on will be the Lord is there. See, the Lord is there in your classrooms. The Lord is there in your ministry. And he will continue to be there long after I'm gone. He'll be there. Jehovah Shammah, the Lord is there. The Lord was there and will be there when that city is built, according to the scripture. And the Lord will be there when your children's ministries are building and growing and changing and molding. So no matter where you go next, Jehovah Shammah, the Lord is there, goes with you. We've come a long way in a little over 10 years as a group. I'm praying that we can continue to be that resource and encouragement for you who are teaching, training, and loving the next generation. We have a couple of discussion questions for your table. Can you hit the next slide? So here's some of the questions. What does hope in the future mean to you right now? And where in your life do you need to be reminded? I know I need reminding that God has a plan still. How has God's faithfulness shown up in unexpected ways? And what does moving forward in your hope look like in your ministry or your relationships? You can answer any of those at the table, or just a couple. You can bounce around. Just have a few minutes of discussion time at your table about these questions. Thank you.
Okay. Isn't it great to be able to connect together and learn about different ministries and what stands out? I think one of the big things that I've been hearing is just how a lot of us do feel like we're in these little silos and we're carrying a large or small, but it feels like a large ministry at all times, just really pouring ourselves out to these kids. So as we've reflected on the past, present, the future, I really want to encourage you now to open your little journals, your little books, your notebooks that you got today, and make a commitment to yourself about the future, okay? It's time to dream. What dreams are you going to put before God today, okay? And I know we're right at the beginning of the conference, but I'm sure your heads are already spinning with ideas and things just from the conversations that you've already had. So we're going to take 5 to 6 minutes, and we're going to just write a letter to ourselves in the future. If you were to read this again in a year, what are the things that you're thinking about now? What are the things that you're dreaming that you want to be working towards, so that when you read this in the future, you're going to keep it, we're not going to mail it to you. You get to keep it, you can open it up, and you can reread what you wrote. Encourage yourself, write something positive, share something positive and encouraging with yourself, and dream. What is it you want to accomplish in the next year?
And while you're working on that, just to give you a heads up, we are going to do a Q&A towards the end of today. So if you finish dreaming, you can start writing some questions and things that you'd like to bring up. We're going to have a panel with some of our task force and try to offer some support. So enjoy your dreaming session. And if you want that to be next year or 5 years or 10 years, it's up to you. So think about what your dreams are, and then also you can start generating questions for the Q&A. That would be great.
Okay, you guys are fast at writing letters. It's awesome. I always take forever. All right, rapid fire. I'd love to hear one dream you have. Just 2 or 3 people to help us all dream dreams. What is a dream you have for your children's ministry? Anybody? Go for it.
I just want to be able to use the talents and gifts that God's given to the children in our ministries.
Nice.
And the youth in our ministries in a collaborative effort, just to give them the environment and the tools and resources so that they can deepen their relationship with God through those gifts.
Love it. Jessica, did you have something?
I do. I have a list of
So I'm very excited to incorporate some of this stuff. But I know it starts with a dream. And so I think the idea of having a preteen ministry, I think we have middle school ministry and we have children's ministry, but figuring out how to invest and build children's ministry, preteen, teens, young teens, but just how to invest and build a bridge, but also make sure we're investing in each
Love
of
that.
those.
Love it,
It's
love
kind
it.
of overlooked. They're just lumped in right
Mm-hmm.
now. But
Yep.
there's so much to give.
Great dream. All right, maybe two more. Someone on this side. Go ahead, Stuart.
Yeah, I think for us, one of my dreams is kind of reorganizing the organization of servants in the Kingdom Kids Ministry to kind of broaden the scope and get more people involved and feel a sense of ownership to
Okay.
kind of make Kingdom Kids not just, that's the family that's responsible, but like the church is responsible for Kingdom Kids. And kind of-
Excellent.
So they are building relationships with not just us, the kids are building relationships not just with us, but with everyone
Everybody.
in the church. And kind of making it-
That's really great idea. Great dream. All right, anybody else? Go ahead.
Back off of that, I share that same dream, like getting together with the singles minister, getting together with the teens.
Mm-hmm.
We got a group of teens that's been baptized, and then just kind of build it up and having a group that kind of serve during a certain season, and it builds that familiarity with the kids so that they know, like, hey, they see you walking around in the hall and they remember when you taught the class and you're coming back again this particular period when they move up to the next class. I think
Love
that's
it.
what's missing. We need more of that structure.
Excellent. I want to encourage you to share your dreams with each other. Let's fuel, connect, encourage each other. Because once we say it out loud, we kind of got a little bit of accountability there, right? So if you shared it with all of us, you can come back in a couple of years maybe, right?
Yeah.
And you can let us know, how did that go? Okay? Excellent. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are almost done here. Thank you guys for giving your time, your resources, your energy to be here. Every ministry in the church feels like their ministry is the most important, but this ministry actually is the most important. And I can say that because I've done teens, middle school, and children's ministry. So I just have a couple of announcements for us. We all love announcements. So in the back, we have the breakdown of all of our classes. I just wanted to guide you towards the ones that are children's ministry focused so you guys can know a little bit more about what is going to be taught in these classes. And we're going to do a Q&A panel, and basically everyone on the Q&A panel is going to either be teaching the classes or had a big hand in those classes. So the first one I'm going to talk about is creating an inclusive ministry. So this is how to set up your ministry to think about, include, work through anything that has to do with ministering to families with kids with special needs. So if that's a big deal where you are, consider going there. And we thought it was such a big deal, we're doing it twice. Millstone to Mountain Workshop. So this one, I was told it's going to solve all your problems. Because if you have a children's ministry issue, it's going to be addressed and solved here. So really, no pressure to Melissa and Bridget. The next one is Cultivating Connection. This one is about how to partner with your community. How can you bring Kingdom Kids outside of just the Sunday classroom? How can you extend it for Monday through Saturday? Next we have Safe and Sound, which is all about policy, procedures, safety. I think out of all the ministries in the church, ours is the most vulnerable. Right. So I think we have to make sure that along with all the fun things that we do, that we are also protecting ourselves and the kids. The next one is the art of collaboration. How do you build a ministry where you feel comfortable handing it off to someone young and trusting that they will do that? And then how do you take on a ministry with a legacy, with such a strong background, how to do that responsibly and effectively? And then we got a little preview of it today. Thank you, Tina. Little Voices, Big Praise. And this is about how can you include children's worship into what you do. And it's not just singing songs, right? It's not just about using your hands, B-I-B-L-E, but it's how can we use these songs to build faith for our children. So those are the ones that are heavily children's ministry focused. So if you want to kind of, star those and figure that out. We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, but I want to try and hold you guys because after the Q&A, we want to take a group picture to kind of remember this moment and remember who was in the room. So once everything's done, just stay here. The other thing is we want to kind of get a documentation, I guess, of everyone who serves for children's ministry and is paid, either stipend, part-time, full-time. If you are compensated for your work, we want to communicate with you. We want to know that. And the person that you will see is Bridget. So if you work in children's ministry and are compensated in any way, please see her so that we can have your information before you leave. And then please don't forget to see our resource fair. We have Giant Cow, which we've used in Florida, amazing, Hope, and something called Parenthood Project. So now we're going to move into our facilitation portion. So this is just a Q&A, guys. If you have any questions, any thoughts, anything that is burning in your heart, we are going to try and answer it. I usually don't like to say question and answers. I like to say question and response. Because I might not. Yes, it's a lot of pressure to figure out. Any takers?
Hello. I have a question. So our church, and we're tiny. We have just like 7 kids, but we have mostly toddlers and preschoolers, but we also have 2 like 4th grader and a 5th grader. So we've tried different things over, and I think we have a good flow right now. But I wanted to also pick the brain of maybe some strategies when you have like more of a larger age range, kind of all together, whether it's when we're in house church or when we're all together at a service. Any tips or tricks or things that you found so that the bigs are like still getting some meat, It doesn't just become like toddler playtime, but then, like so both ends can kind of be served.
One of our regions is fairly small, and one of the things we do is encourage the older ones to come up with a lesson for the younger ones. So they're not just getting the meat, but they're like applying it and teaching it. That seems to be the way that we've encouraged them the most. That's just one thing we do.
We have a similar situation. We have a very small ministry in one of our churches, which just happens to be the region I'm in. We have a 2-year-old that has Downs, so it's more like having a toddler, not walking, a 1st grader and a 4th grader most consistently. And then we have visitors that come in and out. So with our 4th grader, we've done something similar where we've had him be a little bit of a teacher, which has worked out really well. But we've also brought in some campus brothers who have a lot more energy and are more fun than somebody like me or one of the other ladies that's teaching in the toddlers or with the babies. And that's been really cool because we're seeing him build the relationships with some of the really cool young guys in our ministry. And so there's some connection and some bonding there that's really happening. And we meet in a gym like this. So we've got, a little tiny group of kids in this huge space. So we can have one area that's just floor time with carpets and toys and things that's geared to the younger ones. And then we can have some really great conversations as well, doing more bigger physical activities even with him. So just what is he into? What does he enjoy? And then connecting with him on that level. It's really cool.
Yeah, my question is how do we best utilize our leaders and elders, right, to get the
That's a great question. And actually, the class that is called The Art of Collaboration is going to answer a lot of that. And the Wares, the one that the Wares are doing. But do you guys? Yeah, sure. Actually, I brought my elder couple that assist me. We're going to be doing a lot. We're teaching that class. And I think that the way that I framed it is I always talk about my ministry like it's the most important ministry. You don't and I bring stats. You don't understand. Like, did you know, and this is a true stat, 80% of families choose a church based on their children's ministry. The second you say that, they're like, wait a minute, hold on. So you have to always talk about your church or your ministry as if it's the most important ministry, it's the most life-changing ministry. And one sneaky thing we do that I learned is whenever we try to talk about Kingdom Kids on Sundays during our worship service, right? And the way that we do it is through inspirational videos and testimonies. So every couple of months, I have to think through, okay, what story do I want to share? So I'll have one of my volunteers, one of my coordinators, a parents, share a story about why Kingdom Kids is amazing. So what it does is it shares with the big church what's going on back there. It shares that it's intentional, like it's not like we're figuring it out that weekend what we're doing, and it tugs at their heart. So we found that generates more buy-in and volunteer than just an announcement on stage.
That's great. Great advice.
One of the things I think that we can get really super inspired at these conferences, and we can go back and we blow their doors off. And so I think just using wisdom about and how we communicate all of these great ideas that we have, and helping them to understand our passion, but at the same time being tempered with what we say and how we say it. Because they don't understand, they're a lot of times they think through one lens. They're thinking from a pulpit lens, and some of them, their kids may be older and they're not in that ministry anymore, and they forget, that. And I think, and also helping to encourage that what Jack said is that for the leaders to walk the classrooms, to walk the children's ministry. And talking to maybe your leaders and saying, hey, can you come back and look, say hi to the kids, thank the teachers. It is invaluable to be able to have that.
I want to take that a step further. I think it's helpful to ask them to teach. And you might get a lot of no's, but if you ask your elders and your evangelists and their wives to teach, and if they say, I'd love to, but I can't, then my next line is, would you commit to praying for every child every week? And that puts the heart there. And so even if the willingness is there, then we need to see the heart there, and then you'll start to feel more of a collaboration between the two of you. But I do ask them all to serve. And I'm at a point where half of our elders' wives serve in our church. And we have 11. So that's a lot. And our evangelist. I had an evangelist teach the toddlers for 3 months straight. Wow. But it takes time. It takes time. And I think for me, it's the heart of everyone can serve, which if you come to our class tomorrow, Bridget and I are going to talk about everyone can serve. I'll tell you what I mean tomorrow. But I do think it's okay to ask. Ask your evangelist, would you be willing to teach? Would you be willing to sub? Would you be willing to serve 1 time, 2 times, and then screen them and see how it goes?
When it comes to being up against the budget, to alternative sources for able to get finances for daily operating costs, not even to have a big staff, but operating costs for the children's ministry.
We're scared.
No, we're not. We're confident, and we're ready to ask for what we need. I think number 1 is being willing to tap the shoulders of people in your congregation who God's blessed with extra. I've actually asked directly to wealthy members, would you be willing to sponsor chairs, really cool chairs for the 3rd grade boys class? Would you be willing to sponsor? So reaching out to some of our members who have a little extra. We've also done some fundraising amongst our ministry. We've raised funds, but I think the most important thing is to have a really open line of communication with your church administrator. Have them over for dinner. Share with share with them your heart about ministry and what you want to do and all your dreams and all your ideas, and then say, how can you help us support these dreams? Could we add $500 to our budget? Could we earmark, $1,000 sometime in the next year? But start small and start asking, but keeping the lines of communication open with administration, because most of the time they do have a heart for it. They're just not sure where the money's going to come from, and it means you have to redirect what's there.
I think one of the things is you've got to plan ahead, and the budgets come out usually in September, October for the next year. And so, being able to plan ahead of like, okay, this is what I'd like to see for the next year, and here's where it's going to go and the breakdown of it.
I think sometimes they don't know you need money unless you're asking. So when I started leading children's ministry, there was a very, very small budget, but nobody had really asked. And so they didn't realize, we were funding a lot of things out of pocket. And so not knowing, and it doesn't mean that there is a money right now, but if you keep asking and they know and pray about it and you pray about it, it just opens those lines of communication.
Go ahead, right here. You can go.
Oh, no, and I think you'll probably answer this in your class, but just strategies for effectively just getting volunteers to actually serve in Kingdom Kids. So just, effective, strategies.
Who struggles with that?
You're not alone.
Yes. I think probably the hardest part of my job is getting volunteers.
Yeah.
I think we should just put that out there.
Yeah.
The hardest part is getting volunteers, and I think every minister, every person would agree to that. Getting campus interns is really hard. Getting teen interns is really hard. Getting single, inspiring people to take the load of the church is hard. So back to kind of what I was sharing is the thing that usually helps the most that I've noticed is inspiration and organization. So I want to feel inspired, to do this thing. So how can I continue to inspire, but then also create a system that is very organized? I remember when I took on Kingdom Kids from Mary, I continued to not be an organized person. But I had to learn to be very organized. What's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, so that a volunteer feels like they have guidance, they have direction, they're not going to be thrown into a classroom. That was the biggest feedback I got. So I surveyed all my volunteers when I started. I said, what is the hesitation? And the 2 things is too many crafts. I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, that was, for Broward Church, that was the biggest thing. I don't want to cut 50 hearts on a Saturday night. So I was like, fine, I'll find you something that's not like that. So for us, and for me, I think it was being very organized and finding those obstacles and seeing if I can remove them.
Yeah, and we are going to cover this quite a bit, because I do think that one of the biggest ways that Satan gets children's ministry is discouraging us, burning us out. And that's kind of the reason we came up with this class, is because I've seen people that have come to these over the years and they're not here right now because they burned out. And what's burned them out almost always is recruiting. It's getting more volunteers. And so we have some, shall we say, ingenuitive suggestions. I piloted a new program this year that I'm going to share about tomorrow, where I approached it very differently than I've ever done it before, and partially because I was getting burnt out on recruiting. But I do think that it does take a lot of creativity, and I think sometimes we just get locked into our way of doing things, and so that's why we came up with this class, to try to think through, could I try this another way? And so we're going to give you a bunch of suggestions on how you could do it tomorrow. But I think that the heart of the matter is believing that every member of your church can and should serve. And I think for a long time in children's ministry, we've been afraid to say that because we don't want people who shouldn't be around children serving. But I think that's not God's heart. And so I'm hoping to convince you of that tomorrow. But I want to pass that.
I just wanted to share that all of the classes will be recorded. So, I'm just sharing because you may feel like that you're going to miss something and you want to hear more, but you won't. So all of them will be recorded. They'll all be available for you guys to be able to hear that.
Okay, I hope you'll go to her class, but come to mine. No, that's not what I said. She said it for me. Okay, so I just wanted to say that, like, piggybacking off of what Ivana said, that putting structure in place to take some of the burden off the teachers in what their expectations are has helped hugely, and then also communication that I do that. So I've had people like hesitant to serve, and then they finally serve kind of begrudgingly, and they're like, I didn't know that you had somebody pull all of our materials the week before. I didn't know that you had this great curriculum. I didn't know that all of this was done for me, because I've tried to put in things in place so that the burden isn't that big on them doing, they're not going to the store, they're not doing this. If you can find a volunteer that helps take that burden off the teachers and then let the teachers know, then they're like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. So that has helped a lot. Also, I'm going to be starting a totally new rotation system in 2026. And when I told the church, they were like, oh, that seems so much better than what we've been doing. So I can't say with certainty that it'll work, but I just was like, sometimes you have to think outside of the box of this is how our church has done rotations for years and years and years. And before that, they did even longer rotations. And so if you can find a way that might work better and it's more palatable for them to sign up, that seems to be working so far. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome. One thing I do too, this is very silly, but I provide a hot breakfast for all my volunteers. Like casserole, coffee, creamer, the works.
Wait, you cook?
Well, my coordinators do. Yeah, they cook. They cook every Sunday for their volunteers. And they come into church at 8:30 with a home-cooked breakfast, and they feel taken care of. Yeah. So, sometimes food will get anyone in. Food will get any campus kid in. We're all gonna have very different answers.
We use Dig-In. Who uses Dig-In?
Okay, so several of us do use Dig-In. However, curriculum is sort of subjective in the sense that you really got to know your church, your needs, and any of us would be willing to sit down with you and talk through that, because the truth is Dig-In may not be the best solution for your church. And I've tried many curriculums, and so has everyone on this panel. But the truth is, what matters the most is what your church needs and what your church would benefit from, and that may not be Dig-In. However, we have found Dig-In to be helpful. We are going to cover curriculum also tomorrow. That's another area. We also have a document that we're going to share with all of you that was created in, what city? Denver? Denver. Where we polled all the current children's ministry leaders, and everyone listed on a spreadsheet what they were using, and there's tons of feedback on it about all the different curriculums out there. And we will share that resource out to you as well.
I think the one thing that is, whatever curriculum you use, there's drawbacks and benefits and drawbacks to it. And if it's easy to understand, I think also looking at, is it communicate the heart of God versus the to-dos. So some of them are written very character related versus the heart of God related. So that would be my only thing, is to, some of them are more what they're supposed to do rather than who they're supposed to be with God.
I think also, obviously, you have to consider cost. And, one of the things, we do use Dig In on Sundays, but we use a completely different thing for midweeks because it just wasn't working for midweeks. And so I think it's True Way or something like it, but it's free. And so there are some free resources out there that, that we can share as well.
We use Eureka in Broward. Like I said, our volunteers did not want to do a lot of crafts. So Eureka is a Wesleyan curriculum. And one of the things that geared me towards picking that one is it's hermeneutical based. So instead of learning about David and Goliath and how many stones did David use, it actually was like, why do you think David was brave, or what made, so it asks open-ended questions. And I worked with the high school ministry before children's ministry, and what I realized is that they were not trained to read the Bible and ask themselves, what is God trying to teach me? And I learned that that's very important for teaching kids. So we use Eureka because it only asks open-ended questions, and it kind of helps with that.
I use Orange. It's like 2 parts. Like First Look is the preschool curriculum, and 252 Kids is the elementary, and we've used it for, 4 years or something, and the teachers have really loved it. I always say it's kind of like, this doesn't go well with some people, but it's teaching for dummies. Because it's not, you don't need a script. You shouldn't be reading off of a paper, but there's a lot of research based on the developmental appropriateness of like how they word things, how they explain it. And it's basically, we take bits and pieces from it because it's a lot and it can be overwhelming. So the parts that we take are like the memory verse, the Bible study, the Bible story review, and the life application. So like Ivana said, like that was huge in me looking for a curriculum, was like, how does this relate to the kids? Because I don't want my kids to be like, we learned about some guy in a tree today, but I have no idea what that has to do with me. Like literally my daughter said that to me before I started teaching children's ministry. And I was like, cool, so you learned about him, but you don't know what that has to do with you. So that was a huge part for me, the life application.
Lots of curriculum options. I love that you guys have all these questions. I wish we can take them till 6 p.m. But we're available to ask anything in the fellowship. If you see us, please feel free to pull us aside. And I'm sure that all you guys have amazing resources and thoughts as well. So we do want to take a picture. So we're going to end our Q&A portion, and I'm going to ask everyone to go towards that wall where the table is. Go right in front of it. We're going to have someone take a picture. Thank you, guys.